you do here? What do you do?
I work for the New Orleans Film Festival.
Oh, that sounds
So
interesting.
I watch movies.
Okay, is that what you do? Is that your job?
Yeah.
Watch a movie? What kind? Just
Like any independent film, I help curate the festival lineup. So I help program, and I run the volunteers.
so you make recommendations on
Yeah.
what to see, and so you kind of you can influence public opinion.
Yeah, that's certainly what I try and do.
Yeah. And yourself, young lady,
I'm an artist.
in what capacity?
Many capacities. Working on a children's book,
Oh, okay.
but
and you can make
music
a
and
living
art.
doing this?
Sure, why not?
Well, congratulations. You
Thank
must
you.
be good then.
Thank you.
You know.
What's in the works?
What do you think of my art? What do you think of my message?
Yeah, this whole thing that you have going on here is very provoking.
Well, indeed. As an artist, shouldn't some art, indeed?
Yeah,
if we
that's
were
why I
all.
stopped by.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Because, some people get offended, and I say, well, maybe you're supposed to. Maybe that was the point.
I like that.
You know.
I like that. Maybe that's the point.
I mean,
I, for one, am personally offended.
yeah, well, I mean.
Good, I did my job.
Yeah. I trigger people. I'm guilty.
What is going on here?
Well,
Grab here. Oh,
yeah, I know. I'm making fun of it. What
it's
else
funny.
are you going to do
Yeah,
with
you
it?
have to make fun of it.
And again, it provokes conversation because then you get,
Let me provoke conversation on Instagram. Go ahead. No, I'm not going to post it. But...
You stand over near Donald. I'll grab her. We'll really get him triggered. Come on.
Triggered. That's great.
So you guys are great.
Did you watch the State of the Union? Because I was picking her up at the airport, so I just.
Oh, it's in my contract. I'm Uncle Sam for crying out loud. I gotta watch all this shit. I even gotta watch the ones I don't like. You know.
What is the 9/11 3 buildings mean?
I'll give you some information on that.
Yeah.
It's the third building to fall in New York City on 9/11.
Why don't I know about that?
They don't want you to know about it. I mean,
I know, but I will.
all the good
What is
stuff
it?
they don't want you to know about.
Is this yours?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's the third building. This is building number 7, right here. That was the third building to fall in New York City on 9/11, and it was called the Solomon Building, or WTC 7. It was the last building to be built in the World Trade Center complex, right? So it was the most modern.
Yeah.
It was 47 stories tall. It housed all 16 of our intelligence agencies and the mayor's emergency bunker. This thing was a fortress. And from where we're standing right here, from the Twin Towers, from here down to that brick building down there.
Yeah.
And at 5:20 in the afternoon, without it being hit by anything, it did this. 6 seconds.
What?
Straight to the ground.
Wait, why don't I know
And if
that?
you go to these websites on the bottom, Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth,
Yeah.
you will see 28 different angles of this thing just coming down. And if I haven't told you where and when it was, and I just showed you a picture of it,
Yeah.
and asked you what is that, you would swear on a Bible that it was a controlled demolition.
Oh, I'm sure.
So what brought that thing down? Why were there 3 pools of molten metal under all 3 of those buildings that burned for 2.5 months? Where did that come from?
Yeah, no, my uncle was a 9/11 first responder, and he was all in this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to many first responders out here, EMPs, and you name it, that were there, that survivors that were in the buildings.
He's like, he was all
And
about
all
this
of them
stuff.
told me that we've been lied to. But these guys
absolutely.
told us but you know they're going to lie to us.
Yeah, no, he watched it happen from the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
And,
What did they tell? What was the lies? What were the lies?
Oh, God. I mean,
It did
what
not
lies
just-
don't they? Well, the
Two
whole,
planes did
all
not
of
do
night-
that to
I mean,
huge
yeah,
towers.
planes.
Oh,
can-
I just meant in respect to what you're telling me now with all this new information.
Oh, there's a plethora. They've been lying to us all our lives. I mean,
Well, I
everything
know
they
that.
bring up. I mean, I would say when you start looking at, well, I guess the 2 presidents that made us first aware Well, President Eisenhower said, beware of the military-industrial complex and the technological elite who will form a separate government. That, and then Kennedy came out.
The elite.
Yeah, and Kennedy came out in the speech, got Kennedy killed, and said there is a shadow government that's bigger than our government. It was, and then he blew his head up. That deep state are the ones behind this.
Oh, yeah.
They brought this down for, it wasn't 19 hijackers that brought those. Come on. I spoke to a lady here yesterday from Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where that other plane went down.
Right, yeah.
Her husband, when they heard the plane crash, and then news reports, plane crash, Shanksville, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
They got on their scooters and went down there immediately. Like within 5 minutes, the CIA had already roped off the area and was telling everybody. And there was debris all over town. Yeah. So the plane was shot out of the air. And this debris was all over town, and the guys in the lab coats and the guns would come. They were going to house, and they were confiscating all the debris.
What?
This is what a woman told me yesterday from Shanksville, who lives here. She said they had chunks of the plane in their backyard, front yard. There was debris everywhere, she said. It was 8 square mile. So it didn't just land on the ground because there was only a hole in the ground. There was no plane there, it was just a hole.
Just a hole.
So, why don't they tell us that? Why don't they tell us about the fact that there are no autopsies coming out of Sandy Hook?
No, okay, Sandy Hook, that's a...
Well, since we're all talking about this, can we
Boston bombing.
Can we talk about the massacre?
Oh, yes.
In Vegas? What the fuck? There's no blood.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no blood in any of the videos.
Half the autopsies have not... We don't know. Pollock, now they're talking about another person.
That one was really stupid.
Yeah.
I talked to 3 survivors from that that were there.
Yeah.
In the kill zone.
Where?
In Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And I asked them, what happened? And they said those shots came from ground level from 2 different directions.
Yeah, what?
But was there bloodshed, though? Because it wasn't shown in any videos.
They saw a woman get her head blown off.
Okay. I wonder how much of it is really like...
Again,
because it's all lies,
Thank you, because they infiltrate. They put in the... Like, 9/11,
like it's not
at the same time, there was a drill going on.
Yeah.
Mimicking the attacks. That's why the guys were going, is this real, or is it this part of the drill?
Yeah.
They do that together, and the same thing with the Boston bombing. They had a drill going on about bombs in the same locations that went off.
Yeah.
How? What? Do you think that's a coincidence?
No.
Wow.
Thank you.
I really like. Can I get a picture with you, badass?
Sure.
Thank you. I love this open conversation, to be honest. I normally keep my mouth shut up in Boston.
Well, that's why I like doing this, because I think I think strangers you open up with even more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you take one with me so I can send it to the family group?
Yeah. Hillary's face in the back.
Indeed.
Thank you. I love
they have this. Are you guys familiar with the memo that's supposed to be released?
Yeah, I don't. What do you mean? From the aliens? What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah.
Hell, that might happen too. Hell, things are moving faster than we've ever known.
No, yes. The speed. I think that's why my head is so everything's going so fast.
Well, indeed. As a matter of fact, I spoke to a mental case health worker out here. They gave me one of the most candid conversations I've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Because I asked them, I said, what, can you explain to me the, seeming explosion in mental illness now?
Oh, yeah.
And there you go.
No idea.
And he was candid with me. He says, well, I'm going to give you an official version, then I'm going to give you what I think's going on.
Yeah.
And what he thought was going on was like all conspiratorial about everything from growing up with these all our lives. To the GMO foods, to the fluoride in the water, to the poison vaccines, to the radio wave, to the things that people watch and they're, that's why I'm so glad you're where you are. You get to pick and choose, hopefully influencing people of what they see and educate them. And, open up their eyes, show a documentary of 9/11. There are a gazillion of them out there. And that's, I think, it's a two-sided sword, this thing. In one way, it's turning some people into zombies. And in another way, it's opening people up to information they would not normally receive.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing about the internet. It's tricky. You got to filter through so much information.
But we are right in the middle of like the misinformation age, where you don't really quite know what's true and not. And then the people who tell us to believe them are saying everything's a lie. So we're all like, what do you do?
I think a good benchmark to just start out is if they're taking commercial money.
Oh, yeah.
You got to take everything they say with a grain of salt. So you look for the reporters that are basically doing it for the one reason. They just want the truth out there.
Wow. That's true.
Yeah, so, news, there are a lot of them out there now that are independent news organizations and journalists like, InfoWars. They sell their own products.
Right, yeah.
So they're not beholden to, some sponsors.
You can't trace it back to Halliburton.
Oh, well, indeed, exactly. Because it's, I mean, do you think if you're, I don't give a damn if I'm even watching Fox News, the commercials are going to get on, it's going to be pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
So if there's some bad shit comes out about a pharmaceutical company, do you think they're going to really report on it? Not more likely.
No.
So honesty there.
I know. I associate produced a documentary called Sick to Death. And it's about medical corruption and the fight against big pharma. I have thyroid disease. The only reason I ever found out is because I worked on this movie, which is crazy. But
really,
it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's like when you go to the doctor and they're like, "Hey, do you have history of heart disease or cancer in your family?" Right? They really should also ask about your thyroid because it's like all your hormones. That's how your body functions. My body only runs on 94 degrees. Your body runs on 98.6. Well, I'm assuming, but you know what I mean? And there's so much money in thyroid control that really, the steps to take care of it, at a young age is so easy. It's but all of the drugs and stuff associated with it, it's just
Can I tell you something that's going to be scary that might help you a great deal?
What?
One of the things that this man was candid about, that this mental health care professional that was talking
about. What are they working on?
They screwed up the seawalls and blew all our damn taxpayer money. Yep. So for now they're redoing it because they haven't robbed us enough yet.
Mud on them.
But what he told me is if you go to a doctor, because when he says I'm going to give you the
I give the doctor the business now when I go.
Yeah, he goes. Basically, what they're taught now is to give you everything you're not supposed to take.
Yep.
It's just the exact
That's
opposite.
the logo on their little pad.
And it's all about keeping and making you sicker, so you have to buy the prescription drugs.
Yeah.
And it's a vicious cycle. So they're doing this. So if you go to a doctor, he says, what you do is you ask, not what's good for what you prescribe to me. What you do? What do you do? What's your diet? What is what would you describe if you had my condition?
Yeah.
Would you do that? And then if they're honest doctors, they will tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, they're under threat of losing their jobs.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't give you the official.
Really?
Yeah. So
you need to learn how to have an appropriate patient-doctor relationship, and that's what the movie's about. People don't know how to talk to their doctors, and
what's the name of this doctor?
Sick to Death.
Sick to Death.
Yeah, we just had our online video release. So
terrific.
Yeah.
That's good. So I can look it up and.
Yeah, it's sick to the number 2 death.com. Yeah,
cool.
But
did I give you one of my cards?
No, can I have one?
Yeah, it's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton. On the back is my YouTube channel.
Thank
and
you.
all.
Oh my
you're
God,
awesome,
amazing,
Michael.
Yeah, YouTube a lot of my conversations. This one's going to be right up
Yeah,
there.
no, my uncle would have loved you.
Yeah,
probably
you remind
love
me
him
of
back.
mine.
Yeah. Such a little conspiracy.
Oh, I'm thrilled to meet you guys because, you know, everybody has misconception. People, you know, they're from Boston. I've had people walk up here with their hat in their hand and going, "Yeah, I'm from Boston." You know, like I think just everybody up there is going to be a raging lunatic liberal, and I guess there are a lot of them. There are some there. There are some here. There are some everywhere. But you know, it's still always being able to communicate. That you brought up earlier is great because then you can find out, man. Not everybody's different. Everybody's different, but we're the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we really are. And actually, what you said earlier reminds me of something. I took a plane down yesterday to come visit my best friend here. But I was watching that show Shark Tank, and and these people were like, we found, you know, like this great thing that's going to solve like the sock problem when you put your socks in the dryer and you always like lose another one of them, and there's a clip you put on. Anyway, but it's relevant to what you're saying where they didn't want to invest because they're like, the whole reason for this business is because we want people to lose their socks, so they'll go buy more. And that is like what you're saying, like just keep the system going of like, you're crazy. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in 2012, but turns out I'm clairaudient, so I can hear spirit. But you know, but it was a spiritual awakening that I was like unfamiliar with. So, but I regained power over that, and just sharing that with you because I was like. One day I thought to myself, like, oh, and I also started listening to more just uplifting, like, YouTube videos and, like, Power of Attraction. Yes. And I was like, it doesn't make sense that I'm waking up every single day and telling myself I have an illness. How am I ever going to get better? Yes. How am I ever going to recover if I say every day that I'm disordered? How am I supposed to find order if every day I am a big disorder? Yeah. So I, like, put it over here, and I'm like, that's something else, and I'm not disordered, and now I'm so ordered.
There you go.
I'm doing well financially, like, what? You know?
What?
So, yeah, I don't know. It's, it's been a...
Do you find this in your professional, because all of it is a lot with the entertainment, communication, electronic, and that is huge. I mean, this waking us up, because now, I mean, you can even get online and listen to guys that get into harmonies and sounds, and I've tried this stuff, and it does put you in a different zone.
Yeah, harmonics and
stuff. So these things now are being, you know, opened up to us.
Well,
because everybody's got
they're
that
trying to be a little bit more mainstream, and it's wild that for so long I, like, kept my mouth shut about, like, that kind of stuff. And I honestly, personally, at this point, I'm like, I don't care who thinks I'm crazy, because, like, literally, like, sometimes listening to a specific sound, like, helps you. Yeah, or, like, meditating, like, I used to think, like, oh, like, only, like, Buddhist monks do that. Like, no, taking a deep breath, like, every morning and just being like, I am here and I am enough, like, that helps.
I don't know his name right now.
The answers are within.
A good friend of mine turned me on to. This guy, you start listening to him, he does his YouTube things, and he starts talking. And while you're listening to him, he starts, just the rhythm of what he's saying, and then it starts going, and you hear, it'll be subtle sounds coming in the background. Yeah. And before you know it, you're in this zone.
Wow.
You know, and you know, you sleep better that night. You get up, you get a little bit more clarity. Yeah. And if this, what he was chanting with you was like what you're saying, like you were bringing up in the meditation. Yeah. I am here. I am a strong person.
Yeah. Affirmation.
I am responsible for everything that I do. Yeah. All the actions, everything that happens, because I put myself there. I am responsible. Yeah, I am, and I see the world open up. Power to make the changes yourself and stop blaming conditions or anybody else.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, I listen to one every day that I love, and he says that I'm the I'm the master
captain of my soul.
I'm the captain of my shit. No, I'm the master of my own thought. Yep. I'm the master of my own thoughts.
Also, another thought is we are not our thoughts. We are not completely just our thoughts. Consciousness is a much bigger. It's a much bigger bear to wrestle with, you know. And that's something like, you know, like I was told I have, you know, anxiety and depression. And
They just call me crazy.
yeah, I know. But anxiety is like
Nice to meet you, I'm Chelsea.
I fixate on a thought. I fixate on a thought, and then the second I remind myself, wait, I'm not that thought. I don't have to be that thought. I have the power to, like, I'm a creator. I can change and transmute that energy associated with that thought. I can make a new thought that like resonates with me more.
Yeah.
So,
That's your focus.
And all this stuff we're talking about, I think has been, oh my God.
A long time coming.
Well, it's been researched for a long time. I think the powers that be have always had, used a lot of this influence and power we're talking about for very bad, nefarious, Luciferian type purposes.
Yeah.
Luciferian.
Well, I appreciate you even have this stand so that you can talk to people, because I think way more people are misinformed than should be. Like, pretty much everyone's sleeping.
Yeah, but I think I think we're talking about awakening. I'm out here every day, and I'm running into people that are from around the world.
Yeah. That's so important. So important.
Yeah.
And even if it's just they're like, no, I don't know about this, but you're planting a seed today, and in like 5 years they could resonate with more stuff and then realize it.
Well, again, I've been out here a few years. Been out fortunate where people have said, "Man, you woke me up." So, I mean,
Well, you're grabbing people's attention. You grab my attention. And you grab more than just that.
Yeah, no, it's just that I can't do flower pots of Florida Lee's worth of shit. So I do this,
Can we hug it out?
Oh, God, yes, I'd love to. Man, you guys, are you kidding me? You're both beautiful.
Thank you.
If I was 100 years younger, I'd be partying with you. All right, guys, God bless you.